They're our dogs. 2 Chihuahuas and an Irish Terrier. I mean, I love them, but they drive me nuts. Hi everyone, it's Emily and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm here with a pretty personal video, but one I'm still excited about making nonetheless, and that is the 2015 year in review video. Just a warning for suicidal stuff and depressive stuff. If you're looking for a pick-me-up, some of this video probably isn't for you, but it does get better, I promise. Yeah, we'll just start the video now. I came into 2015 pretty mentally unwell and very overwhelmed with a lot of stuff that was happening in my life. That stuff was partly the reason for why I decided to have a hiatus from BookTube, and in retrospect I'm really glad I did that despite not feeling too good about the decision at the time, because I needed this year for myself and I didn't want to present myself in a way on this channel that made people sad, and that was pretty much what I was this entire year. Around the time when I called hiatus, I moved into this new house that I'm at now with my mum and my stepdad and my sister and baby brother. I also started my 12th year of high school, my final year before university and other further study. Despite being mentally unwell and just very unsettled in home life because of conflict between my mum and my dad and my stepdad and conflict between all of us and stuff like that, living arrangements, gosh, I still went pretty well for the first month or so of 2015. I mean, I wasn't well mentally obviously, but I have great friends and I was really enjoying the relationships that I made, and I was really liking my classes for school minus biology, which was not working for me with the teacher that I had. Things weren't great and they weren't necessarily good, but they were okay. They were manageable. In February I started dating. His name was Peter and I really liked him and we had great fun, so that relationship started in February. It was sort of at the end of January / this February part that I was beginning to get really down on myself and really down in life. I mean, I had been in terrible places before this year, but this was something new. This was something hopeless and terrifying, and despite some of the amazing things that were happening in my life and the things that I was enjoying, it didn't seem to be enough, and I just didn't feel like I had anything to look forward to, and what I was doing in the present wasn't making me happy, and I was just in a really bad place. My brother Tyson, who is now 17 months old, was going through a lot of his first milestones, such as talking and walking and just being a little brat, and he is one of the ones in my life that even then made me incredibly happy. So I'm just really glad that I was able to spend this entire year with him and have him in my year, even in the darkest times. He is incredible. I'm so blessed to have him in my life. March and April I continued to go downhill. One of my best friends, Emma, specifically noticed it. My parents noticed that I was sad, but they didn't know how bad it was. So yeah, continuing to go downhill while still achieving good grades, which I don't really understand how that works with me. That sort of gave people the impression that I was doing better than I actually was. And then May came around. This was my sister's birth month, my brother's birth month. It was meant to be exciting, and any normal person would have been happy. I was the exact opposite, and I'll go into details more about my mental health story in another video, but I hit the lowest I've ever been, and I attempted suicide. That was probably early May. Yeah, early May. It obviously was a pretty horrendous experience. That day when I'd been treated at the hospital and stuff, I got put into a psych ward for adolescents, and I stayed there for nearly 2 weeks, I believe. Those 2 weeks were the worst 2 weeks of my life. There were amazing people in there, the carers were so good, but I was still very depressed, and yeah, it was very confined, and although I came in voluntarily, and I just sort of felt trapped within myself, and there was just so much going on. It was during my time in this psych ward where I actually got medical help for my mental health problems for the first time, which was monumental. Only a day or two after being admitted, I was diagnosed with a major depressive disorder, which was not a shock to me. We started talking about treatments that I could go on. I got put on a type of antidepressant called Prozac, and I got released from hospital, and I kept on going with this year. After that suicide attempt, I had a lot of time off school in order for me to not only prepare to go back, but adjust to my medication and see if it was working for me and what dosages I needed to take. It was very experimental, as I think everybody getting on medication is, and you know, the side effects weren't great, but there was a lot of bad ones there. During this time, I had incredible support from my family, my closest friends, my boyfriend at the time. I was incredibly lucky. I didn't realize how much support I had and how accepting the people in my life would be of me, vulnerable as a depressed woman. Despite being so low and still being depressed and working through stuff, I felt hope for the rest of this year, for the rest of my life. And sure, it went away later on in the year, but there was still seeds of it throughout everything that I did, and that gave me enough strength in a lot of situations to actually keep on going. The support of everybody knowing what was going on with me, and also getting onto meds helped me get back into school, continue working and studying. Around this time I dropped one of my classes, bio, because I just wasn't enjoying it, and just threw myself into all the other things that I love, including writing, my English class, psychology, legal studies. My dropping biology posed a issue for me, for my future, and that was that by dropping that class I wouldn't have enough points to obtain a score that lets me get into university. Now I know university isn't the be all end all, but for me it has always been important and always something I wanted to achieve. And so dropping this class was a very big thought out step for me, but I decided that it was putting too much pressure on me and too much stress, and I wanted to do as good as I could with all my other subjects, and I could finish up the rest of the points next year. I was in the mind space of thinking about the things in my life that were causing me stress and heartache and making me loathe myself and feel uncomfortable and terrible. And I decided that my relationship with my boyfriend Peter at the time was one of them. Despite not feeling good in the relationship and never really doing so because I didn't feel like I was in the right space for having that in my life, I was still very upset when I broke up with him, and he was very upset too, and it was very hard. Yeah, and it caused complications later down this year, but I don't regret doing that. I went at school with a new determination. However, I'm still feeling really bad. This passion didn't equal motivation. This passion didn't, despite adding things to my life, make me want to live. When my psychiatrist realized that my medication wasn't having the effects on me that we needed it to have, I was once again admitted to the psych ward for another couple of days. They put me on a new medication, which I'm still on today. There was lots of waiting to figure out what dosage was right for me, and I figured that out now. From the point of discovering my right dosage, which was one of the biggest things of this year, everything changed. It's still hard. I'm still recovering, and I will for the rest of my life, and I still have down days and days where I hate myself and feel depressed about everything, but most of the time I'm so passionate and so excited, and I didn't have that before. I am motivated. I know what I want. I know so much about myself as a person. This year has taught me that I can go to the darkest places, the most horrible places a person can imagine, and come out of it and still have things to live for. With the medication, with my family support, with my developing and understanding of myself, I got recommended to a university and to a course by my principal as well as my teachers and my school psychologist. I'm still waiting to find out if it is accepted and if I will be able to go to uni next year. Getting this recommendation showed that my trying was enough, and it's given me options for the future. Even if it doesn't work out, I'll forever be able to say that these people, the principal, the teachers, believed in me. In November, I graduated school, year 12. I have been certain that I was never going to make it to this point. Graduating high school, I didn't see past a 2015. I didn't see a graduation. And the fact that I'm able to sit here and review this year as terrible and incredible as it has been, is, I don't even have the words for it. To summarize, I suppose this year has been insane. There is something so horrible and beautiful and unique about this year and about the person I am coming from it that makes me think, for once in my life, next year will be better. My New Year's resolution of being happy and being hopeful will actually be achieved. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I apologise if I bored you all, but I really appreciate your support. Love always, stay safe. Bye!
I never thought that I